Hello, this is stik2043 digital lecture. This is basically a continuation from your previous class. We are still in the first chapter, in the introduction chapter. In the last class, I stopped at kernel. Alright, so basically kernel is the basic of operating system application that perform most fundamental operation of a system computer. So basically, the term of kernel and operating system is interchangeably. You can use either from the point side, from the point of view of a computer student, kernel is the operating system. From user point of view, operating system basically the only things that they know. Alright, so when we talk about kernel, there are a variety of kernels, but any operating system kernel allow for the most fundamental operation of a system computer, which is allowing the system to boot up, process information, and getting the output. Alright, so the minimum requirement of a system application for us to run. So this is what kernel is all about. We can look kernel from a different platform. For example, when we're talking about Linux kernel, there are a variety of Linux kernel. Alright, the full-fledged Linux operating system, which incorporate gigabytes of software during installation, or you can basically install the Linux or with its bare installation, which is around 500 megabyte. That's still a lot, but for normal PC, for normal computer, 500 megabyte is a very minimum operating system footprint. And for example, Body Linux, one of the Ubuntu variant, requires only a very small storage capacity, whereas it will, during the installation, it will install only the basic component of operating system, which allow the computer to boot up, show the screen, the graphical user interface, and allow for the computer to access to the internet, and by using one simple Midori web browser. But for Ubuntu 13 version 13, if you want to install a full-fledged installation, means that you want to install with the OpenOffice. Nowadays they call it as I forgot the name. They have a different office, but it is basically from OpenOffice initiative previously, right? Yeah, LibreOffice. All right, so they have the LibreOffice and everything. We are talking about 3 gigabyte to 5 gigabyte of installation, where you can have multiple web browser, multiple PDF readers, all supporting applications. And this is and also system services, web service, and everything that you want to install. That is also operating system, but the application side, the user application side is not. All right, so there are a lot of varieties. There are 3 types of kernel design. So the kernel design basically how the operating system is being accessed, or the design of the operating system itself. Either it is based on a monolithic or microkernel. The hybrid one, basically it is a marriage between monolithic and microkernel, but the most fundamental is these two: the monolithic kernel design and the microkernel kernel design. Monolithic kernel design basically applies in Unix and Linux operating system. Microkernel in Basically, microkernel introduced by Tenenbaum, but the implementation I'm not quite sure. You can further read about microkernel. Hybrid kernel used by Windows and by Macintosh. We're going to look into these two type of kernels type design. All right. In a monolithic kernel, all operating system services run along with the main kernel threads, thus also residing in the same memory area. Alright, this is the simplest kernel available, where everything in a monolithic design, all operating system services such as the processor manager, the memory manager, the device manager, everything run in kernel mode. Alright, when we talk about the kernel mode, means that this is a highly privileged hardware operation, and we have two type of space: the user space and the operating system space. And in monolithic kernel, the operating system space is untouchable. This space is basically cannot be interfered, or the address cannot be used by others, by application or by user space. Alright, only application on top of the operating system run in user mode. So user mode run based on user space, operating system mode run in operating system space. The main disadvantage of monolithic kernels are the dependency between system components. If there's a bug in a device driver, it might crash the entire system. Alright, so if there's a problem in one of the driver, in one of the operating system component, the whole system will crash, and thus render the operating system is very difficult to maintain. But there's an arguable amount of there's a lot of kernel politics, the fighting between monolithics and microkernel design. Both poses good and bad problems. All right. Okay. On the microkernel side, it is the term describing by which the functionality of the system is moved out from the traditional kernel mode into a set of servers. Alright, so all the component of operating system is only running on its minimal kernel, leaving as little as possible in system space. Alright, so the use of system space is very minimal, and the operating system component can be called later, and this can run on system space, on user space, sorry. And a microkernel that is designed for a specific platform or device is only ever going to have what it needs to operate, right? So Macintosh used this kind of oh sorry, not Macintosh, microkernel, IBM machine, I believe. So I forgot to look for it. You can search for microkernel more. Alright, so this is the both monolithic and microkernel. So basically, as you can see here, monolithic design, this is a very kernel mode specific. No user application can run on in kernel mode. However, for the microkernel, the operating system can still use user space in the memory, right? And only the basic of the operating system, the what we call as the virtual memory, the scheduling and everything, it uses a very little amount of space compared to monolithic design. Everything is run in a strict kernel mode. There's a reason behind this, because if the operating system allow for the user application to access the kernel mode, the kernel space here, the operating system space, user application can also access the operating system component, and this is poses very dangerous to the system. So there are pro and con between monolithic kernel and micro kernel kernel design. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about, the user space and the operating system space. Alright, so definitely previously operating system, entire operating system has been loaded. This is the previous operating system loaded into main memory and the rest available for application. Operating system kernel in main memory basically only loaded half of the component, right? Not all the component. The rest of the component modules is stored and request based on demand. All right. So basically, in summary, operating system. You're already we've already been discussed on the function of operating system, the four essential manager, the network manager, the evolution of operating system from the basic of operating system to the modern operating system, and also nowadays and the mobile operating system. This is also very important topic nowadays because in this modern or what we call as the today's devices, most of the device is based on mobile, and mobile operating system is one of the not the current trend, but the current advancement in computer system. All right, so most of computers today mobile, people that have the iPad, the tablet computers, the Android device, and the smartphone, and all these devices run on operating system, and this operating system is a very advanced operating system, whereas they run on a very small device but capable of doing what the desktop computer can do previously. So it is a very dramatic what we call it innovation. All right, and important, it is very important for you to understand how the mobile operating system change the society and how the information is being delivered nowadays. You have look at categories of operating system, use of object-oriented design, several ways to perform operating system tasks, and also next we're going to explore more on operating system component. I forgot to discuss on the type of operating system. So basically you have several types of operating system. The earliest operating system but still in use today, surprisingly, is the batch processing system. Alright, the batch processing system, basically the data or program are collected and grouped with a similar functions or data type and processed at later date. For example, a payroll system where it calculates people salary, stock control, billing system, real-time system. This system requires immediate input with immediate effect. All right, and the timing is very critical. For example, operating system that control nuclear power plant, oil refining. This is a real-time system. Real-time transaction. Input immediately affect the output, but timing is not critical. All right, so this is based on transaction. Sorry. For example, the holiday and airline booking system. Online processing. Processing performed under the direct control of the CPU. This is mostly for people who buy from the internet. So we can call it as an online operating system, but the term itself describe the condition or the defining of the operating system. Offline processing is done away from CPU after the system, the data is being gathered. Batch together of log card filling in OMR form, multi-access online, any user link by workstation to a central computer such as in a network. This is for ticketing, airline booking system, because there are many users who access to the web server and process the data. Interactive processing, the user has to be present and program cannot proceed until there is some input from the user. This is for example ATM machine. Distributed system, alright, this is quite interesting because this is what we call as a poor man supercomputer. Alright, by using a network, a desktop computer, a PC can be processing power and resources can be pulled together and making it appear as a single supercomputer. The term multi-programming here, this is basically ability to run many programs apparently at the same time. And yeah, nowadays normal PC also run multi-programming, even smartphone, and also multitasking. Multitasking and multi-programming, they share the same idea, the same trait. Alright, so that's it. The embedded system. So embedded system basically operating system that designed for a compact device, all right, for smartphone, for limited amount of resource or limited amount of energy or battery. So this is a very specific operating system with a limited RAM and ROM. So but nowadays the embedded system, the mobile device, they are getting more powerful and more resources available to be used by the operating system. Alright, so that's it for today. So in your next class, we're going to discuss on we're going to look into the Linux operating system operation and how you can acquire skills as a system administrator. So the basic skill, you don't have to worry much because you're going to learn about the basic operating system, how to access the Linux terminal, and I'm hoping you can again, please access the server, I've given you all the informations and how to access it and how to the simple operation, and I hope you explore on your own. This is very important again, right? So because this will affect your final and also your project and your assignment. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to my